lifetime grudge began with one stolen spotlight. When I was 6, all I wanted in the entire universe was to become a ballerina. Not a princess, not a vet, not whatever other kids dreamed about ballet. I'd glue myself to the old boxy TV, watching grainy performances from the State Theater downtown, and then twirl around our living room until I got dizzy. Mom finally enrolled me at this tiny studio in Mapleford, and twice a week I practically floated there. My instructor, Miss Rena, said I had real potential. She told my parents I could make it onto the competitive team someday if I kept practicing. That was huge. That was the kind of sentence 6-year-old me would have carved into her heart. My older sister, Clarissa, couldn't have cared less. She was 13, too busy with school soccer and gossiping with her friends to pay attention to anything I liked. But the second Miss Rena mentioned my natural talent, Clarissa suddenly announced she wanted to dance too. She'd never pirouetted in her life. Mom thought it was adorable that she wanted a shared hobby. I knew better. My sister collected attention like trophies, and she didn't like someone else getting a shiny one. I made the competitive team right at the start of spring. Clarissa joined too, even though she was practically a giant compared to the rest of us, and couldn't do a clean plie to save her life. Miss Rena put her in the back row. I thought that was the end of it. 2 days before the showcase, we had dress rehearsal. I was wearing my brand new pale pink tutu. Mom had worked an extra shift at the bakery to buy it. I ran through my sequence, counting beats in my head. That's when Clarissa came up behind me during a turn combination. I didn't see her foot. I didn't see anything except the floor rushing toward my face. Pain shot up my ankle like fire. I screamed. I couldn't stand. Mom had to help me hobble to the car, her hands shaking. At the clinic, they said it was a severe sprain. Weeks off it. No showcase. No nothing. I cried the whole way home. Clarissa didn't say a word. She just stared out the window while I sobbed in the back seat. When Mom asked what happened, Clarissa coolly said, I tripped over my own feet. She's clumsy, she added. Miss Rena called that night furious. She'd seen what actually happened. Clarissa sticking her leg out deliberately. Mom confronted her. Clarissa shrugged and said it was an accident. Dad believed her. He always did. The night of the showcase, I had to watch from the audience with my ankle wrapped so tightly it throbbed. They put Clarissa in my front row spot. She forgot half the choreography and still got cheered like she was the next big thing. Relatives swarmed her afterward, telling her how graceful she looked. Not a single person asked how I was doing. That summer, she quit ballet, said it was boring. She went straight back to soccer like nothing ever happened. I tried to return once I healed, but something inside me was different. I froze mid-jumps. I hesitated on spins. Miss Rena said fear after an injury was normal, but the confidence never returned. 2 months later, I quit too. Clarissa joked for years about the one time she tried ballet. She never apologized. Not once. When I was 17, Clarissa started dating a guy named Rowan who fancied himself a photographer. He had lights, backdrops, all the gear. Suddenly, Clarissa wanted to be a model. She spent hours posing, buying outfits, treating Rowan's apartment like a studio. Honestly, his photos were good. Annoyingly good. My parents ate it up, especially Dad. She's finding her passion, he said, beaming. One night, Rowan came over for dinner with his camera bag slung over his shoulder. After we ate, he and Clarissa went to the backyard to use the golden hour lighting. They headed all the way to the fence, fussing with tripods. He left the camera bag in the kitchen. I stared at it for a long moment, then I opened it. His memory cards were sitting right there in the side pocket, his main card practically sparkling at me. I slipped it into my jeans and zipped the bag shut. That night, in my room, I deleted everything. Every single modeling photo taken in the past 3 months, hundreds of shots. All of Clarissa's precious portfolio. The next morning, I put the empty card back in the bag. 3 days later, Clarissa burst into my room sobbing hysterically. Rowan's hard drive had crashed. The memory card, the backup, was blank, completely blank. She was supposed to submit them to an agency that week. She asked me if I'd seen anyone touch the bag. I said no without blinking. She looked at me for a full 10 seconds, like she knew, but she didn't have proof. She never pursued modeling again. Said it was too much trouble to start from scratch. Rowan dumped her a month later. She blamed the lost photos for everything falling apart, and I just sat quietly, watching the spotlight slip right out of her hands.